Hello everyone, welcome to today's class, and today our title is called Sushi Terror. Let's move on to language focus. 1번. It involves going to a conveyor belt sushi or Kaiten-zushi place and doing some unsanitary things to the food or other items in the restaurant. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on the word involve in this situation. So we use involve with a gerund, 동명사, so verb ing, to describe the specific actions taken in some process. So in this situation, we could say involve is something like 수반하다, or I think more likely, 포함하다. So let's highlight this part and look at our example. So cooking pasta involves boiling some noodles, making your choice of sauce, and then mixing them and adjusting the seasoning. So 파스타를 요리하는 것은 면을 삶아서 당신이 소스 선택한 다음 그것들을 섞고 양념을 조절하는 것을 포함한다. So cooking pasta involves boiling some noodles or pasta noodles, I don't know. Making your choice of sauce, best sauce is bolognese of course, and then mixing them and adjusting the seasoning. Seasoning is like your salt, pepper, spices, etc. Or let's look at the second example. Learning a new language involves memorizing new words, reading in the language, and practicing speaking. 언어를 배우는 것은 새로운 단어를 외우고 그 언어를 읽고 말하는 것을 연습하는 것을 포함한다. Yes, involves memorizing new words, one of the hardest things to do in Korean. Korean has so many words, it's unbelievable. So many specific words. 그래서 저 아직까지 한국어 못합니다. So I understand everyone learning English because learning Korean is still difficult. So that was involve. Very simple. Remember, using involve with a gerund to describe specific actions taken in some process. Cooking pasta involves boiling some noodles, making your choice of sauce, and then mixing them and adjusting the seasoning. 파스타를 요리하는 것은 면을 삶아서 당신이 소스 선택한 다음 그것들을 섞고 양념을 조절하는 것을 포함하다. Or learning a new language involves memorizing new words, reading in the language, and practicing speaking. 언어를 배우는 것은 새로운 단어를 외우고 그 언어로 읽고 말하는 것을 연습하는 것을 포함한다. So in this situation, we have used 포함하다 in many of the examples. 2번. They are trying to convince customers that it's safe to come back only to have kids contaminate the food for just a few laughs. Okay, so the next example we're going to use is only to. We use only to introduce an unexpected event, usually something negative or ironic that occurs after someone has made effort. Okay, so I can only explain this by translating the sentence. Like only to를 사용하여 누군가가 노력한 후에 발생하는 예상치 못한 사고는 보통 부정적이구나. 아이러니한 사고를 소개합니다. Okay, another way to use only to is but unfortunately. But unfortunately. 하지만 불행하게도. 그래서 let's have a look at the example sentence. Chris worked all night on the presentation. only to have the client cancel the meeting. 크리스는 밤새 프레젠테이션을 했지만 그 고객이 회의를 취소하게 했어요. So Chris worked very hard. 열심히 프레젠테이션을 일했습니다. 근데 고객이 미팅을 취소했습니다. So this is an unexpected event, usually a negative, 부정적인 사건. So Chris must be very angry is what we're saying. Next example, Lewis cooked a perfect pizza for his dinner guests only to drop it on the floor. 아이고. 루이스는 저녁 손님들을 아니면 친구들을 디너 게스트는 보통 친구들을 위해 완벽한 피자를 요리했지만 바닥에 떨어뜨렸다. So he made this perfect pizza. 열심히 요리했고 맛있는 자루도 썼어요. 근데 바닥에 떨어뜨렸어요. Poor Lewis. So yes, only two. Let's look at the language focus quiz. Making involves So 1번 making involves. Remember, involves 포함하다. 그래서 let's keep it simple. Making, oopsie daisies. Making cake involves what ingredient? Flour. Of course. 케이크를 만드는 것은 밀가루를 포함한다. Usually. Can you make a cake without flour? I don't think so. Okay. Learning 2번. Learning to involves let's talk about this. Learning to speak another language involves patience. Okay, which is the most important thing. 그 다른 언어를 말하는 것을 배우는 것은 인내심이 필요한다. Okay? Even though we haven't used 포함하다, we need patience. It involves having patience when learning a language. 3번. Worked really hard on only two. Remember, only two. When we talked about Chris worked all night on the presentation only to have the client cancel the meeting. So 크리스는 밤새 프레젠테이션을 했지만 고객이 회의를 취소하게 했어요. It's a bad client. Anyway, worked really hard on only to let's just keep it simple. I worked really hard on this task only to have my boss cancel the task. Similar to before. 나는 이 일을 정말 열심히 했는데 상사가 그 일을 취소하게 했어요. 짜증나. 그쵸? Alright. I went all the way to only to find out was closed. Let's say I went all the way to Suwon, which isn't far for me, but I went all the way to Suwon to find out my favorite restaurant was closed. 수원까지 갔는데 마음이 드는 가게 식당은 문을 닫았어요. All the way only to find out that my favorite restaurant was closed. Okay, now let's move on to the further discussion. 1번. Do you agree that this kind of prank has increased due to the short form videos on social media? 소셜 미디어의 짧은 형식의 동영상으로 인해 이런 장난이 증가했다고 했다는 것에 동의하십니까? I think that because of social media, it has created these social media characters who love to play pranks on the public. I hate watching that sort of stuff, to be honest with you. If it's on your friends, it's fine, but when it disrupts the public, like in the story, I think it is a nuisance and it should be punished, to be honest with you. People have, their bad days, and sometimes these people can get affected by those pranks. And let's say that prank happened to them, that could be the straw that broke the camel's back, meaning that could be the final thing to make that person feel even worse about themselves. I hate it, to be honest with you. With your friends, 100% okay. With the public, not okay. 2번, expanding on question 1, in what other ways has social media affected teens' behavior? 소셜미디어가 10대들의 행동에 어떤 다른 방식으로 영향을 미쳤는가? Beauty standards, especially for women and also men. But obviously beauty standards have changed the way we see the world. Now, people use a lot of Photoshop or filters or whatever to make themselves appear more beautiful or appear different. And in reality, they look very different. This has changed people's beauty standards to extremely high. And when they meet them, for real, it can be a little bit embarrassing or awkward. So yes, I hate using filters. I use filters from time to time, but I try not to make it too different from what I look like. Where all my friends just love using the filters. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's class, and we'll see you on the next class.
Unsanitary.
Unsanitary.
Gross.
Gross.
Deed.
Deed.
Beg to differ.
Beg to differ.
Contaminate.
Contaminate.
Gleefully.
Gleefully.